Hello everyone, again we are here with another topic of this chapter, that is what? DNA, structure of DNA, right? Children, I know the current ongoing chapter is little bit different from your previous chapter and you have not studied all these things before. So maybe you will get little bit difficulty to understand the concept, but today whatever I am going to tell you, that is very simple and you have studied it earlier also in class 11. So today when we talk about the DNA, so that time in that case in previous video I have told you Hershey and Chase proved that okay, DNA is the genetic material, and by that bacterial cell changes phenotype, means it behave as a viral DNA, right? It start producing bacteriophage virus inside the cell. So it means DNA is the genetic material, and they proved it by their experiment. And later on discovery, some scientists also got to know okay, RNA is also genetic material. For example, if you talk about the TMV, means tobacco mosaic virus, and bacteriophage BQ virus, in that RNA is genetic material. It means some of the viruses also having a RNA as a genetic material. So DNA as well as RNA both behave as a genetic material, but majority of the organism are having this DNA as a genetic material. And why it is so much stable, for that there is a long conversation and there is a 4 points that is given in your book, and it will come in the coming videos also. So in that case we will discuss that 4 points why we are saying DNA is a genetic material. But today what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss just a simple structure, because now we know very well that DNA is a genetic material, right? So now the second point is this: if we are saying DNA is a genetic material, it means we should know the structure of the DNA, right? So today we are going to discuss that. Now if we talk about the DNA is a genetic material, means the DNA is made up of what? DNA is made up of nucleotide, right? And that nucleotide we also call as a base pair, and these base pair actually determine the length of the DNA. In different organisms, these base pairs are different in numbers. For example, if we talk about the E. coli bacteria, in E. coli bacteria the base pairs are 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pair, right? So this is the number of base pair present in the DNA of E. coli. If we talk about the bacteriophage 5174 virus, in that case the number of base pair is the 5386. So again the number is varying. If we talk about the human beings, very important, if we talk about us, so you know very well we are diploid, means chromosomes are present in pair, right? And you know very well chromosome is made up of what? DNA plus protein. So in the haploid number of chromosome, the number of base pair present in human beings is how much? 3.3 into 10 to the power 9 base pair, right? If we want to know about the diploid condition, the 6.6 into 10 to the power 9 base pair. So this is the number of base pairs present in different organism, you can say. Now if we talk about the structure of DNA, so if we talk about structure of DNA, so DNA is having three things, right? First one is the sugar. Second one is a nitrogen base. And third one is the phosphorus group, or you can say phosphate group. So these three things is having a basic component of DNA, and by this there is a formation of a nucleotide, and nucleotide bind together by a phosphodiester bond, and they make the dinucleotide, polynucleotide, and make a helical structure of the DNA. So today we will go one by one about this 4 component of DNA, and by that we gradually get to know okay, this is the DNA structure. So if we talk about the DNA sugar, so I have told you there is a discussion, and discussion in that discussion RNA and DNA both has a genetic material, and in some of the virus RNA is also a genetic material. So here we will talk about both the genetic material DNA as well as RNA. Okay, so if we talk about the first thing, sugar. So in case of DNA, a deoxyribose sugar present. A type of sugar present in a DNA is what? Deoxyribose sugar. If we talk about the RNA, in case of RNA, ribose sugar is there. If we talk about now, second one is the nitrogen bases. So nitrogen bases is two type, right? First one is known as a purine, and second one pyrimidine. So there are the two type of purine and pyrimidine, two type of nitrogen bases are there. In purine, again there is a two type of purine is there, adenine and guanine. These are the two purine, or you can say a type of nitrogen bases present in the DNA as well as RNA. But when we talk about the pyrimidine nitrogen bases, so there are the three type of nitrogen base, pyrimidine type of nitrogen bases present in the DNA or RNA. That is what? Cytosine, thymine and uracil. So these are the three pyrimidine nitrogen bases present where in the DNA and RNA. Now see, among these three, cytosine and thymine is present in DNA as a pyrimidine, right? And instead of thymine, cytosine and uracil. These two are present where in the RNA. So what I am trying to say, in case of RNA, instead of thymine, there is another type of pyrimidine is present that we call as a uracil. So this is what? This is the uracil. Okay. Now this is the nitrogen bases. Now what happens when the sugar bound with the nitrogen bases? So there is a first thing that take place in the formation of any nucleic acid, that is what? Binding of sugar with the nitrogen bases, right? If we talk about the binding of this sugar with the nitrogen bases, so in that case what is there? They form a structure, that structure is known as a nucleoside, right? So how it is possible? For example, there is what? And adenine is one of the nitrogen base. So adenine when combined with the deoxyribose sugar, right? Or you can say adenine combined with the ribose sugar. So that time it make a structure that we call as a adenosine, right? Same is here, deoxyadenosine. So this is the nucleoside, means binding of the sugar with the nitrogen base by a nitrogen bonding, that we call as what? That we call as a nucleoside, right? And that nucleoside is the what? That nucleoside is the first step for the formation of what? For the formation of a DNA or RNA structure. Same with the guanine. Guanine when combined with the deoxyribose and ribose sugar, D-guanosine, D-adenosine, deoxyguanosine, like this. When it is combined with the uracil, so that time uridine is a base pair and the nucleotide is a uridine we call, right? Same with the thymine. So thymidine is the base nucleoside that we used to call. So this is the way of forming a nucleoside. Now what happens? Third component of the formation for this DNA structure is a phosphate group. Right? Phosphate group. Now when the phosphate group attached with the nucleoside, again I repeat, when the phosphate group attached with the nucleoside by the phosphoester bond, right? So when this phosphate group attached with the nucleoside, means when the phosphate group attached with the nucleoside were at the 5' end of the hydroxyl group, right? In that stage, how they bind? They bind with the phosphoester bond and make the structure. That structure is known as the nucleotide. The structure is known as the nucleotide, right? Now more than one, when one nucleotide attached with the another nucleotide with what? With the phosphodiester bond, and that time this phosphoester bond we call it as a phosphodiester bond, right? And we call that structure is what? Dinucleotide, right? So in the same way, more than dinucleotide again going to combine with one of the nucleotide, then again one of the nucleotide, and they make a structure that we call as a polynucleotide. Polynucleotide. So actually what is this? Polynucleotide is a structure of a DNA actually. DNA is what? DNA is a double helical structure of a polynucleotide chain. So how the formation of this polynucleotide take place? So this is the way, these are the basic component of the formation of any genetic material, whether it is a DNA, whether it is a RNA. So by this way there is a build-up of this genetic material. Now after that there was a other scientist also who has given a different thing for this DNA. There was a certain name you should know. One was the one I have told you earlier also, that is a F. There was a one person, Mischur, right? Mischur was a person who has proposed this DNA as a nuclein, and he told us that this is the acidic in nature, and due to acidic nature they are present where? In the cell. And but he was not saying it is a DNA. He just called this DNA as a nuclein. After that there was a one person, Altman was the person, due to its acidic nature. Again I am saying Altman was a person. What he told us? He told us that due to the acidic nature of this DNA, he gave a name that we call as a nucleic acid, right? So nucleic acid name was given by the Altman. After that, now you know very well, there is a 4 type of nitrogen bases. That is what? Purine and pyrimidine. Out of in purine there is a 2, that is adenine and guanine, right? In pyrimidine there is what? Thymine, cytosine, and one more is in the case of thymine. In case of RNA, instead of thymine there is a presence of another pyrimidine that we call as a uracil, right? Always there is a bonding between adenine to the thymine and guanine to the cytosine, right? So due to this bonding, there was a one person, name of that person is a Chargaff, right? Chargaff, and he proposed a generalized rule, a generalized proposal was given by him, and we call that as a Chargaff rule. What we call it as a Chargaff rule. It's very important, children. What he told us? He told us that is a association of the adenine to thymine, guanine to cytosine is always constant and equivalent to 1. So this is we call as a Chargaff rule. Very important for the nucleic acid, right? So this is the what? This is the given by the certain things by the different persons for the DNA, right? And now after that there was a 2 person. Name of that person was the Watson and Crick. Watson and Crick. Basically these were the person who has proposed a very correct model of the DNA, right? And that we call as a semi-conservative model of DNA, right? So according to them, what is that? So they told us that DNA is a right-handed double helical structure. According to them, what is that? DNA is a right-handed double helical structure, right? So this is what this is the DNA according to them. And this helix is made up of what? This helix is made up of base pair. That base pair means they are having a nucleotide. They are having a nucleotide. And you know very well, if we talk about the nucleotide, nucleotide is having what? Nucleotide is having a sugar, right? They are having a nitrogen bases, and along with that they are having what? They are having a phosphate group. So these three things, sugar, nitrogen base and phosphate group, together we call it as a nucleotide. So there is a presence of a different nucleotide over this helix and they make this helical structure. Right, now what is there? This sugar and phosphate together, they form the backbone of this helical structure. What they form? They form the backbone of this two helix of the DNA. Along with that, this nitrogen bases are projecting towards inner side of the this nucleotide. For example, if this is a nucleotide, what is this? Again there is a nucleotide, again there is a nucleotide, like this way. So nitrogen bases are projecting towards inner side of this helix. Right, same with here also. This is what? This is the nucleotide, means backbone, nitrogen and phosphorus and sulfur. So nitrogen bases are projecting towards inner side. So this was given by the Watson and Crick. And along with that, what he told us? He told us the distance between these two helices was 20 angstrom. And the one helix length of this DNA is how much? That is a 3.4 nanometer. And each helix is having how many base pair? 10 base pair. So this is what actually we are considering this nucleotide is as a base pair, right? So that each helix is having how many base pair? 10 base pair. And the distance between two base pair is how much? 0.34 nanometer. So this is the distance between the two base pair. How many base pair is there? 10 base pair. One helix is having how much distance? That is a 3.4 nanometer base pair. Nanometer. So this is the data that is related to this DNA structure. Now one more thing important, when we talk about this nitrogen bases, you know, I have told you also, adenine always make a pair with the thymine, guanine always make a pair with the cytosine, right? So when the adenine make the pair with the thymine, there is a double hydrogen bonding, right? When guanine make a pair with the cytosine, that time there is a 3 hydrogen bonding. Okay, so if it is a and always these are what? These are the two helical structure, means these helix are anti-parallel. If there is a, there is a T, there is a G, there is a C, right, in the parallel helix. If there is a, so opposite side is having a T, like this way, and bonding is double between the adenine and thymine, guanine and cytosine, there is a what? 3 hydrogen bonding. So this is what they may, due to this hydrogen bonding, it is having a stability, right? So hydrogen bonding give the stability, sugar and phosphorus give the backbone. Now in case of if we talk about the RNA, RNA is a single standard structure, right? There is no such kind of, means adenine is binding with the thymine, but this is loose, means there is no parallel helix to give them stability. So that's why they are not so much stable. And being the stable in nature due to this hydrogen bonding, DNA is a better genetic material in comparison to the RNA. So children, today I have told you about the DNA as a genetic material, different component of the DNA, why it is made up of, then structure that was given by Watson and Crick, that I have told you. In the next video, we will meet with the packaging of DNA, because the number of base pair, you know very well, 3.3 into 10 power 9 base pair present. The overall distance of the DNA is how much? 2.2 meter. Such a long DNA is packaged in a cell. How it is possible? So that we will discuss in the coming video. I hope you will get all the things very clearly. Thank you.